All right, everybody, welcome in. Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin. I'll be the one and only Big Spoon.
I'll be Puddin. I'll let you read your disclaimer, bro.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. It's been a few weeks. Primary purpose of this podcast is to educate, share our thoughts and opinions. When we have proof of that topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, for our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on our podcast. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. You can reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpuddin@gmail.com. Well, everybody, I know we took a little time off for the holidays.
We've had some. We were supposed to be back before now, but whatever, Someone might have had the China flu.
I know a few of you are probably really upset because you wanted us here. And there's probably quite a few of you that are really upset because you didn't want us here. But either way.
There might be some upset. They're like, oh, shit, they came back. I think, isn't it a minute before you can curse? I don't know.
Curse before a minute?
Well, supposedly. Somebody said something about, I don't know, you had to go on YouTube or something. You're freezing, Charlie.
Sorry.
Yeah. You got all your internet cleared out? I got me a mojito for today.
I cut it all the ones up I can remember.
There's the city people in Portland are probably like, oh shit.
Well, I've heard from a lot of people asking me this question. People come to my wife and ask her. And of course, on Facebook, on all the pages, hit Portland, this, that, going, well, where's the mayor at? There for 6 or 9 months. He was everywhere on social media, preaching, using God. And I said, don't worry, people. I told you this would happen. In a little over 3 years, he'll be right back on there. He'll be right back. When he wants and needs your vote, he'll be right back on there, preaching and using God to his benefit. Don't worry. He'll be there.
You'll see him in 3 years.
Just hold your horses. He'll be back.
Yeah, when he wants his big check job with all the power. And I watched somebody the other day on was a lady on. Now, your neighbor, we talked about this lady. It was Eliza Blue or something. She was on Tim Pool's podcast. I think it was Friday night. She was on there. And, your neighbor didn't like her very much. And I disagree with a lot of what she said, too. However, when she started saying, the people who want money, talking about Congress, they don't want money. They want power. They care less about Buddy. Some of them, they're the stupid ones like money. The smart ones like power. Power will get you all the money you ever want, which is part of the reason why your local mayor here wants to, he wants that power.
For 6 or 9 months, he was everywhere.
What's happened, man? We got some back feedback. What's going on?
Hang on. We got it.
Okay, you're messing up again. But
am I freezing
one
again?
of us, I don't know. Yeah, you're freezing. You're lagging.
I don't see it on my end.
You don't see it? I see it. Well, maybe you need to step up and get you a computer. You kept telling me about my dinosaur forever.
Nah, I'm gonna have to cut some of the things that's on Wi-Fi off, I guess.
No, I reckon. But no, your mayor, he wants his power, and that's what he wants. That's what anybody wants. They want power.
Well, let's jump into the
thing I wanted to talk about. Wait. The thing I wanted to talk about, and I sent it to you, and I begged you to watch it, was the U.S. Virgin Islands and Andrew Tate and Epstein and Chase. Remember that? Don't you remember the U.S. Virgin? The U.S. Virgin Islands filed a lawsuit against Chase Manhattan Bank.
Oh, yeah. I watched it.
Yeah, well, they were saying that, but he's talking about the Andrew Tate story and Tim Pool's opinion, and I'm 100% in line with what Tim Pool says on this. He says, if Andrew Tate's guilty, fine, let's go after him, throw the book at him. However, let's not get distracted and move on from Epstein. Let's wait until we get the client list. And what was funny in the show is he was talking about this Virgin Island attorney general was fired 5 days after filing a lawsuit against Chase Manhattan Bank, who should have known Epstein was up to no good. You know,
The question is, why was she fired?
I don't know. I haven't followed up on the story, but we were supposed to do this, you know, when did I send that to you? Oh, damn. I was on the 4th of January, you know, but we were late for the 2nd. We missed that one.
It's my fault.
You know, well, and then we were supposed to come back on was it Wednesday or Thursday? We were supposed to do one, and then we both kind of slipped up on that one. I was like, screw it, just enjoy it and having a little break.
And I was sick for like a week, and so
since then, you know, someone got the rice flu.
I must have had the Rona. I don't know.
The Rona, you had the rice flu. You got the Chinese sniffle. But now you've got the real vaccination instead of the one that drops football players.
But here's the thing on that. They filed a lawsuit against Chase, and then they turn around and fire this lady who's what?
The story, I sent you the story. It was on Breitbart. Breitbart News had it. It says, Virgin Islands Attorney General fired days after suing J.P. Morgan Chase for facilitating Epstein abuse. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wow, is that the real sneaky story here? Because it says United States Virginia Attorney General Denise George was fired by Governor Albert Bryan D. just days after announcing a lawsuit that accused banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase of turning a blind eye to evidence at Jeffrey Epstein's alleged sex trafficking operation.
So the first question is, why was she fired? The second question is, why was she the only one fired?
I don't know.
Question. Well, my first question is, where's the list? All right.
Well, they said something interesting on their podcast. They said Maxwell might have been the one running this. She may have been the mastermind, not Epstein. Epstein may have just been a boob who walked into it and loved the life and got fed a bunch of young women to have sex with, and enjoyed the shit out of it. But that's not the point.
Very possible.
Well, you got somebody sitting in jail right now for facilitating sex traffic crimes, and there's no list. Well, she's accused of who she's doing time in a club fed. Plus,
there's a list, but if that list becomes public, be so many people, not only in the political but in the Hollywood world, that would have to go down for this, and they're not going to let that happen. Oh
yeah, there's a lot of them. Bill Gates is one of them. There was actually, seen that today. Melinda Gates actually did an interview where she talked about meeting Epstein, and now I'm not going to give Melinda Gates as I'm sorry, she's a world elitist piece of shit too. Sorry, but she might be talking a little bit to throw her ex-husband under the bus some. But no, he wasn't on the plane with Epstein. He didn't pay Epstein to have sex with underage girls. No. Yeah, or right. Underage boys. I'm sure that.
Now, trafficking is supposedly one of the top 3 money-making trades in our country, believe it or not.
One of them.
It seems like most people turn a blind eye to that. If you really want to talk about slaves and all that going on in our country right now, and has for many, many years. That's just a sidebar to the political and Hollywood corruption that runs this country.
Yeah, there's it's
and I know our neighbor's not going to like this, but a lot of your force police, CIA, FBI, they're in on it too.
I mean, even your neighbor ain't going to like if we talk about police, but I mean, still, I want police elected. City. I want the sheriffs. That's what I want. I want the electorate to be the ones that, have the oversight over the sheriffs, because you're supposed to work and it's supposed to be constitutional. But the city police in Portland, the state police, they're basically the strong arm for the local city government and the state government. That's really,
me and you've talked about this in length. What does a town the size of Portland need 40 officers for? Number one, they don't. Number two, the sheriff is an elected official. So if he don't do his job, or his people don't do their job, and he don't enforce them to do their job, guess what?
They'll throw them
somebody
out.
Somebody else gets elected. These small towns,
and the new person can come in and just completely clean house.
Exactly. These small towns, the whole town is run basically by your mayor and your police chief.
Yes.
You sprinkle in a little bit. You sprinkle in a little bit of the politics and the Chamber of Commerce, and that's what runs the whole freaking town. And it's not just this town. You go to any small town.
I feel like just putting your Chamber of Commerce, like I've already stated in the I feel like just looking at them and just saying, well, they're your local union board. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Like your Teamsters local, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I don't really much care for all this, all that Gestapo style treatment. But
when we talk about this, a lot of people, like my neighbor, wants to think we're anti-police, when that's not the sentiment at all.
What the hell?
The kitten latched onto my foot. Oh, that's not the sentiment at all.
That's going to turn into a soundbite, and Skrillex is going to use
it. He's sharp claws.
You're gonna find your little scream in a Skrillex song soon.
But what I'm getting at, we're not anti-police. We're pro-police, but we're pro-good police and the right police. We're
policing with oversight and punishment. As of right now, the people in Portland police who, the news done their little story on for letting his little mistress out of a DUI, now he's a promoted detective.
And that's just one story of many that could be told in this small town.
And again, now that he's a detective and he's promoted, but he's also compromised, he's going to do more underhanded bidding of the people, of the powers that be, which is again why the Maxine, circle back to the Ghislaine Maxwell client list. It's why you'll never see it, because all the people on that list are compromised, and threat of them being.
The people should be outraged and have an uprising over this. No question. No questions asked. Let's just go from here. If this was going down 200 years ago, would the people stand for it?
No. Absolutely not. You wouldn't have been able to organize this 200 years ago.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's uncle would have found out that his niece was 16 years old and she was crying, and he knew he could get away with murder, and he would have went and took care of business. 200 years ago. People like Epstein would have found themselves on the wrong side of a gun of some, Southern feller who knows how to fix problems.
Chop an axe, hung from a tree, something.
Now they're protected by your taxpayer money, and that's not even really technically a lie at this point. Your taxpayer money is why Club Fed for Ghislaine. Epstein, but that was interesting when that person said, I think the reason that they offed him was they felt like he was going to talk, like he was going to squeal and blow the lid off of it.
Well, of course.
And that might have been why they went in there and offed his ass. But they don't think she'll talk because they think maybe she was the architect.
Well, see that that puts a little extra nail in the coffin side to the other, because he off him pretty quick, because they were afraid he was going to talk.
Well, I mean, think about it. She, like I said, she's in jail, and where's the evidence? Hasn't
she
been,
was if she
she's
was
in jail for clients that there's no evidence of any clients.
But if she was the threat, she'd be gone already.
Pretty much. She was hiding in a house in New Hampshire. I watched that special this weekend, like last weekend, or no, the weekend before last, about Maxwell. It was on it was on Netflix or
how much you want to bet how much you want to bet Bill and Hillary Clinton's on that list? Bill Gates.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah, no, but Gates is on it.
Pelosi's
Gates is on
husband.
it. Bill Clinton's on. Bill Clinton was on the plane over 20 times. He breaking up again.
I do not.
Oh boy! But before we keep beating on that horse, did you got anything you want to talk about, or?
Yeah, I wanted to go in a roundabout. You probably don't know about it because you're not a sports guy, but you remember back when Tebow was playing, and he was taking a knee for his religion and prayer and for his God, and how the NFL world and the whole world made a big deal about it. No, but then they wanted to start taking a knee, and so all that. Tebow bad, you can't take a knee to say a prayer.
Oh, Black
social
Lives Matter,
injustice, all that. Yeah. BLM, social injustice, all that was just Rudy Tooty, ha, 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 ha. Well, this past week, you had a Bills player go in for a tackle.
No, I'm saying
the helmet hit his chin. He gets up, he collapses. So the only thing you've seen going around the internet for the last week is all the teams on their knees praying, people sending out prayers. All of a sudden, because it doesn't fit their agenda, it's okay to pray and bring that back into that world, right? Does people understand how, number one, social media, two, politics, and three, the agenda, they twist and turn things to fit their agenda when they want it. And if you notice, there's a picture going around where all the team coaches, they're all on their knees praying, and the ambulance crew and all the doctor people, and they're working on this guy, right? They're all praying. The lowest paid people on the field was doing the most life-changing job out there. I want you to think about it. These players and coaches making millions of dollars. And these people over here doing CPR were probably making $40, $50, $60, $100,000 a year. And whose job was more important? And I love sports. I don't want to see sports go away. I'm just trying to put that in perspective. The lowest paid people, the people that have a trade, a career, were the most vital people on that field at that time. Right?
Well,
and the second most vital thing was prayer was back. Right? At that time, everybody should be praying. Everybody should be looking to the Lord. It's okay to do it then, not when Tebow wanted to do it. And not when BLM and social injustice wanted to take a knee against their cruelty. It wasn't okay then, but now it's okay.
People don't pay attention. They have like the 6 second, or what was it? 6 second Tom. What was the guy on 51st Dates where, his character get your name, 10-second Tom, Hi, my name's Tom. Everybody's got a so short memory. I remember the Tebow thing. I wasn't a Tebow fan for that. I've just been a Gator fan my whole life. It was the first ball cap I ever had. Was a Florida Gator with a bulldog hanging out of its mouth. That was the first ball cap I ever had.
Well, so, I'm a diehard Tennessee fan.
Well, I know, and I was raised. I'm Central Florida boy, and you're a Tennessee boy. I got it.
My oldest son loved Tebow. Even when he was in college, he had to have a Tebow jersey. He had to have a Gators this and that, and I absolutely despised it because I hated the Gators. But that was the one person that I allowed him to have because he is a great
you allowed him. See, there we go. Now, are you ready? You want to segue into our conversation on, your father is your model for God. What does God think of you? Well, you don't want to go in there?
I mean, if that's the way you want to go.
Well, I thought I had a pretty good epiphany when we were chit-chatting the other night about this, and I told you, I said I could trace all my agnostic beliefs back to Fight Club, and the riddle of Brad Pitt telling Ed Norton, your father's your model for God. What does God think of you? And that riddle just fucked with my head for just forever.
I could trace all my Christianity back to Anne Boleyn and King Edward when he told the Catholic Church, "Go F yourself. We're going to start our own religion."
Okay, so the new religion is the one you're supposed to follow along with because he figured it out all of a sudden.
I'm just messing with you.
No, I get it. I get it. I know it's kind of comical if you do think about it. The shifting of power and the changing of the guards. It is kind of comical, but you roll that back to early or 800. Muhammad and all them, and everybody making fun of the Muslims and this new sect springing up, and then back it on up to the Catholics, then back it on up to the Egyptians and the Greeks and everybody else and all their following of multiple gods. And it's like, okay, all right. Now, we got the right God now. We finally figured it out,
Yeah.
Which is why one of the reasons I laughed so hard at South Park is when they poked fun at the Mormons, they did a good job of poking fun at the Mormons, but then when the only people in heaven are the Mormons, that's kind of the satirical irony between them people, and how they act. Oh, you didn't say that where Kenny got a golden PlayStation. What was the little PlayStation handheld thing?
You talk about
it was like the Game Boy, but no,
Game Boy Advance.
No, it was the PlayStation version. Kenny got one of those, and he was really good. Then he was supposed to lead the army of heaven against the army of hell or something. He died, and they had to bring him to heaven or something. But it was funny because the only people in heaven in that episode were the Mormons. And it's like they've made so much fun of the Mormons. But then Kenny gets up there and they're like, oh, no, only the Mormons get up here. That was the Mormons. They got it right.
Good gracious.
It's just funny, man. It's hilarious. It's hilarity. But that was where like I said, I got on that topic and I asked you, did you ever lie to your kids? And you told them that they keep their eyes crossed. They might get stuck that way, didn't you?
No,
I always used to. My parents told me that lie too, and I always think, did I got a hook on the side of here that grabs the tendons on the back of my eyes or something? What the hell? How do they get stuck that way?
No, the little lie we tell is like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, and
my parents didn't do that to me though. Honestly, they were pretty. If they knew it was a lie, they just didn't say it. Most likely, And I was.
Y'all never got up on Christmas morning to open presents from Santa.
We got up on Christmas morning to open presents, but we weren't told they came from Santa Claus.
You didn't think they came from Santa Claus?
I was the first Christmas that I have a recollection memory of. No, I knew it was from my parents. My parents bought me my presents.
How far back can you remember? Because I remember
about 4.
I was 4.
It was about 4. 4. I was 4 going on 5, maybe. I think.
Because like we would go to my grandparents when I was that young, and I remember my grandmother tell, "You better hurry up and go to sleep because Santa Claus gets here and you're not asleep. He'll shake pepper in your eyes."
See that, but that's what I'm saying. I get it. I get why people do it. Okay, you think it's fun, you want to have some fun, but you're also lying to your children openly and knowingly lying to your children.
Then the furnace room was right next to the bathroom, so she told us Harry Hoagie lived in the furnace room, so we wouldn't run in and out of the bathroom.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is his parents will willingly do the lies of, tooth fairy. Because I did catch my mom on that. I told her after we spoke, I had a conversation with my mom about it, and I told her, I said, you talk about the food tooth fairy. She's like, well, yeah, I probably did. I said, so you lied to me about something, and I believe there was some fictitious lady that come around with a, put money under my pillow for losing a tooth. So,
but what did that hurt you?
It didn't hurt nothing, but it's the people that's supposed to seed your mind to give you the best head start in life, are telling you something completely just erroneous.
Giving you something to believe in and have faith in. And it comes true because there really is a Santa Claus. I'm Santa Claus. It's just not the Santa Claus character.
Where's my present at, jackass? I'm waiting.
It's over on the bar.
Oh, well, it still ain't made it here. You're late, Santa Claus. Can I get a refund?
If they didn't throw it away.
Yours are over there. Oh, they didn't throw it away.
No, I'm talking about yours.
No, I'm saying, with that logic being said, think about it, that your parents, if you follow your religion, and it's the religion of your parents, what does God think of you for only following the religion of your parents? That's the riddle. I find myself at a point where once, in like 2005, I believe it was, I realized I don't give a shit. Just don't care. It's a calming came over me, and I said, I think I got it right. So just can carry on.
Josh said, shit, Santa, you passed my house. you were definitely on the naughty list.
Oh, really? Well, that's what you should have went to his house twice. I thought you liked naughty, Big Spoon. You like good spankings.
Yeah.
But no, it was, so like I said, I get your
daddy.
TiVo thing. Spank you, daddy. Mm-hmm. That's what you want. I don't want to jump into this, but if any local people know Jason Aldean, I would like to, if you haven't never seen this, because known about this for a long time, but it's been bothering me here recently.
You didn't put it up here, did you?
What?
You didn't put it up here, did you?
The picture? I didn't load it in.
Yeah.
You want me to?
Yeah. Email it to our email.
Okay. You'll put it up. All right. I'll let you put it up. Let me just email it to the email. There's this picture, and I want people in here because we are so close to Nashville, and Jason Aldean. I'd love to know more about the Vegas shooting. I mean, let's see.
Because all that, it's like 9/11, all government conspiracies.
Did they get it right? What's going on?
Which news stories are you talking about, Josh? Because we've talked about some of them before. We did a podcast on a certain officer and stuff. I don't know, almost a year ago. So,
well, the city. The only thing I can say is I did get to watch the last meeting on the city, and I think okay, the email came in. Just let you know it's there. Boy, oh man, Latoya, that hurts so wrong. Wow. I can't believe she went in front of Megan and said, I'd like to nominate myself. I was like, well, you've been an alderwoman. You were sworn in the last meeting, and you've been an alderwoman for 10 minutes, and now you need to be vice mayor. You really are sniffing your own farts right out of that wine glass. You got a bigger wine glass sniffing your farts than other alderwomen's on there, Well, that would be the second alderwoman to nominate herself. If you didn't see it, it's Megan Thompson. Hint, hint. Y'all keep on sniffing your farts and telling everybody how great you are.
But
you're not.
I told you that I believe we said what we said on the show about them making her vice mayor is the reason they went a different
We
route.
we can only hope that that's why.
But that doesn't mean
if that's
she won't be the assistant mayor or vice mayor in the near future.
If the people up there who are watching, who got elected as aldermans, if they're looking at it like, wow, Megan, you came in by the skin of your teeth, and had LaToya got 50 more votes than you, if 50 of your votes would have been on her and Dillard hadn't been ousted, you wouldn't even be an alderwoman. So maybe all hope of Megan is done.
Josh, the mayor is every 4 years, and Jody McDowell's vice mayor. And will I run for mayor again? If I'm going to run for mayor again or not, I probably will. But in 2 years, I'll for city council, and then in 4 years, we'll see where I'm at.
You're going to try to get rid of Penny Barnes. Got to get these Karens off there, man. Karen's got to go. All of them.
I have nothing against Penny. Here's your picture.
Yep. There's the picture. There you go. There's Jason Aldean. For everybody out there, if you know Jason Aldean, I'd like to take this picture, take a screenshot of that, send it to him. On the right, that's old Jason Aldean. He's a sun worshiper. He was always a sun worshiper. There's his shoulder. On the left is, if you don't know about this, it's called the Illuminati card game. It's out there. It's kind of rare. It was done in 1995. That's the Vegas card. And in the middle is his updated tattoo. All right. So you can see the blackjack underneath the black sun and all this. But the Vegas shooting has bothered me quite a bit lately. And the reason I say that the Vegas shooting has bothered me quite a bit is, if you don't know, the song that was playing when the shooting started was When the Lights Go On. And if you go watch the music video, if you watch that music video, it starts out with that tattoo. The very first scene, that middle tattoo right there. You see the bottom half of the blackjack is how it starts. And that's how but what happened with the Vegas shooting was that song started playing, the lights in the auditorium lit up, and the gunshots commenced. Now, I don't know if he knew that it was, I mean, it doesn't, he looks pretty legitimate, like, holy shit, they're shooting, looks, his run off the stage does seem pretty legit, but it just makes you wonder why does he got the tattoo? What's up with it? And hey, he could be a useful idiot in some ways. I don't mean to, I like some of his songs. Backroads, love that song. He's got some decent music, but still, what does he know? What does he not know? And it just keeps bugging me. But hey, the bump stock ban, I heard the other day, the bump stock ban got reversed a little bit. So, but again, what got me looking at this weekend is I was watching Stephen Paddock's brother, and it was interesting. Stephen Paddock's brother did like a 30-some-odd minute interview with the news shortly after Vegas. And he talks about how they're rich. They got lots of money. Right. The guy was a millionaire. So what is he doing with a $150 piece of, shit plastic on a gun when he can just buy a machine gun? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's so many conspiracies around that shooting, and so many unanswered questions.
Well, look, anybody with any common sense knows one guy didn't get all that artillery up there in that hotel room.
He could have. I'm not saying that it couldn't have happened, but there's got to be more video. There has to be more video.
With not raising any eyebrows or any questions of how much that went up there. All the things about the windows not being broke out, the shots from the different angles they were coming in. That one guy, he was a fall guy. The same thing as the pilots in 9/11. They were plants and fall guys.
There was a lot of plants, a lot of fall guys. There's a lot of fall guys that even go back to Oswald. A lot of people think he was a fall guy.
And I feel so bad for the people that we lost on 9/11. that shouldn't have happened. But this was your government that done this. They set this
Oh,
up
yeah.
to change and take away your rights. Because at 9/11, if you go back previous to that until now, everything has changed. Everything. They know
Oh no,
exactly what they're doing.
the world me and Spoon grew up in, that ain't today's world.
No.
You know, it's not. As a kid, I used to walk around my little neighborhood with a M16 Crossman air guns. Used to make an M16 with a pump plastic triangle handguard BB gun. And I used to walk around the neighborhood plinking at cans or little glass. I loved it when I found some litter bug who threw a glass bottle out in the ditch so I could shoot it, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what I did growing up. That was my fun.
We had BB gun wars and pellet gun wars, and
I had a dirt bike my parents bought me a dirt bike when I was 7. I had BB guns. I used to ride out in the tree out in the forest and shoot, and you know, but today you seeing a little kid, you know, a 10-year-old walking around with a gun that looks like a machine gun. The SWAT team might kill his ass. You know what I mean?
Definitely would. They definitely would.
You know, they'd be rappelling down out of a Black Hawk, you know, from the police force because the government doesn't send them the fucking weapons, you know, which is what we talk about by saying, wait, the police is too militarized.
Hey, that's what I tell my children, like my 14-year-old son with his BB gun. I'm like, you know, Andy lives across the street. Don't go out in the front yard with that. He might come over and get you.
Oh my God. I can't believe you went there.
I give him a little ammo. Cha-ching!
No. Yeah. No, I'm saying, you know, you never know, man. The detective might see that and be looking at him for a homicide that, you know, hey, are you the one that spiked my mistress's drink? You know, you're walking around with a BB gun, you evil right winger.
Josh, I'll get back to you that last question in a minute.
But still, you know, you sit there and you think of the world we grew up in. You think of the world we've been living in. And you look at Vegas and what came after it. Then you look at all these incidences that came after it, and there's questions. I seen a funny one on Twitter the other day. There's a Twitter account called Clown World or something, and they make fun of people. They had a shirt, and it was hilarious. It says, "We need more conspiracy theories. All mine came true." You know, it's like,
I got that shirt, I think.
You do? Oh, that seems like a funny shirt to have. But
before we move on, Josh asked, is there anyone up there on the board that we can trust in Portland? And this is my opinion to you. I think Penny Barnes, for the most part, I'm sure there's times she gets swayed in their favor and she doesn't know it. So I don't blame her for it. I think at times you can trust Jody. At times you can trust Jody. At times you can trust Woodall. At times you can trust Thompson. At times you can trust Hall. But for the most part, I had a good opinion of LaToya in the beginning before she got elected. And as the process went on prior. But she ain't been there long enough for me to say, yeah, I'm on the fence.
Like I said, the first meeting with her in it and her going, and then, yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna nominate myself now.
And Drew Jennings, same way. He can trust him sometimes. Most time I don't trust him. And for the mayor, on a personal level, I like Mayor Callis on a personal level. But as far as running our city and the political and the government, I don't trust him.
I don't. No, the fact that
one bit.
The fact that I know he could take fluoride out because he's the executive and he doesn't and he won't talk about it is I'd have no trust for him and no respect.
He won't even take it serious and get it on the agenda. None of them will.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But we're going to get it on the agenda one way.
No, I'm just going to keep pushing on it, you know. But I was
is that a question, Josh? If you're still there, you may not be there.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't really, you know, we went to Hendersonville the other night and I like Hendersonville. Honestly, I do like going to other places. It'd be nice if like Gallatin would get, because I guess her wife said something about she thinks maybe that new exit there in Gallatin, they might be getting ready to do some shopping center building there. That would be nice, but that would probably kill all Portland's hopes.
Oh, you talking about the first one there past the old
that new
109?
exit? I'm like, why did they? Yeah, past. I'm like, why did they build that exit ramp there? What? Just nothing here really.
Well,
and then
instead of having to veer off on the old 109 and go to a red light and all that, you can just jump off there and go straight to the Civic Center. But I'm sure they're going to put some business there, be a gas station, some apartments. There'll be a little bit of.
It'd be nice if they'd build something like Indian River or Indian Lake or whatever. The Hendersonville exit with like a Red Robin and stuff. That'd be cool.
Well, see, you ain't been here long enough, but Hendersonville, where Indian Lake and all that, it wasn't done before.
No, I know it wasn't. No, it wasn't there 30 years
20,
ago.
25 years, 20 years ago, whatever. Nothing. It's out of nowhere. It's like Mount Juliet. Over where Mount Juliet's grown in the last, 15 years?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Last 15 years.
The people in Portland, the leaders in Portland, I think, I know they keep sticking with this rooftop thing, and they keep talking about, well, we don't got the roofs, blah, 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 blah. We can't get the business. Well, and maybe you should be making some concessions.
Mount Juliet didn't have the roofs when they built all that.
Well, that's the argument I'm hearing from somebody I know in town, that rooftops is the reason that Portland doesn't get, we can't get a Red Robin or, they say Chick-fil-A, which I could care less. Chick-fil-A can come or Chick-fil-A can go. I don't care.
We need to go. We need to look that up. What was the population of Mount Juliet in year 2000, 2005 to now? I'm going to look that up.
I'm sure the city gave some concessions to the businesses to move in. And then they moved in and then the roofs followed. But again, why, I'm going to run back to why do we want them here if they can't even get the fluoride out of the water and they won't stop poisoning kids? Mike Callis, you're poisoning kids. I don't care what you believe in. You're a POS in my opinion. And I'd love it if somebody would flag this and send it to him because he's a piece 4141. There you go. Look at there. There's two, 4141, 5 plus 5, whatever you want to call it. Oh, did you ever see what was it? Somebody 2020
right, 14,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. 14,000 in the year 2000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go 2005. 17,000. Year 2000 when they started slowly build. 17,000, 2005. So now we're going to go 2005 is probably when they started blowing up a lot of stuff and building stuff. And we'll go 2022. 38,000. 38,000. All right. In 20 years.
Is that roofs or is that citizens?
That's population. I didn't go roofs. I went populations. But in 20 years, they went from 14,000 to 38,000.
And they got how many malls and businesses moved in there?
Well, what I'm telling you is
Portland, they didn't have. What I'm saying, the argument for me, the argument over rooftops goes completely out the window when you realize Portland has an interstate over there. They have 2 exits, which is the same as Mount Juliet has.
Not only that, we got 109 that connects 40 and Lebanon and everybody else.
Well, I know.
840.
No, I know. I'm saying we have 2 exits out there. You've got 109.
3 if you count Franklin.
Oh, if you count, Franklin can't. Well, I mean, I'm saying, you got Cross Plains, which is like, half. It's kind of the halfway between White House. And White House, to me, White House is bigger than Portland. And I think maybe because it doesn't have as much local corruption.
But
that's just my opinion.
Mount Juliet was the size we are right now in the year 2000. Mm-hmm. They started putting in shopping centers and this and that. And in 20 years, they went from 14,000. They almost tripled the population in 20 years, but they started building first. It wasn't rooftops first. It's let's get these businesses in here. Let's get this business in here. Let's make this look nice. But Portland wants to tell you, the leaders in our town want to tell you, you got to get the rooftop first.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because you'll get the rooftops once you make some concessions for the businesses. I think there's too many well-connected people in the local city government in Portland that control all the businesses and don't want competition. That's my opinion. That's exactly it. That's my opinion. My opinion is that the local connected people don't want competition. Therefore, they lock businesses out. You know
the good old boys that don't exist.
Yeah, the ones that we're just conspiracy theorists on that one. Mm-hmm. The people that get permits pushed through that other people can't.
Josh said Mike Callis is a liar and a terrible person in his opinion.
I wish more people would recognize it, because any man that's going to put a neurotoxin that hurts the people in the water is no one to be trusted.
Well, see, you go with that angle. My angle, anyone that will use their religion and come out
as an agnostic, I think anyone that uses religion for anything is just, believing in flying spaghetti monsters.
Preach and say, if God this and God that, vote for me. and then you run your city and your town and you do backhanded things that's totally against what your religion would be, and people can just fall in line with it. But just like we said this last election, the people still didn't speak. What'd you get?
No, they didn't.
A fourth of the pie got outvoted.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, that's why I say I don't even think he has a mandate.
You're right, Josh. Exactly. Anytime a man says God told me to step away from preaching, time mayor, run far, far away.
No,
and I'm just speaking to him on his political and his mayor, not him as a person, because conversations I'd have with him just as a person when he wasn't mayor, and have anything against him. Now I don't know him that well personally, so
I spoke to him one time, and I don't ever want to speak to him again. The only thing I would like to do is walk in there and, crop dust his meetings if I ever walk in there again, and just walk in there and just make them really mad, because that's easy to do.
Which is
that's what.
Yeah, you're on with Real Talk and Spoon and Puddin.
Where's Peyton?
Uh-oh.
Peyton!
Tell her to call
me. You got anything to add? You want to add to the show? You're live right now. They can hear you.
Thank you for shooting Hardee's. What kind of dinner can I get you started?
Oh, hell, we can't have
What? We can't tell everybody where she's at. What are you talking about? Come on, Spoon. She's just messed up.
All right, I told her. Love you, bye.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get her to put some input on the show, but that didn't work, did it?
No, apparently it didn't.
You didn't hear Hardee's in the background?
Oh, yeah, I heard something about Hardee's.
That is not.
Then you went back silent. Oh Lord. Anyway, no, like I said, I just don't trust him, because I asked him about the agenda, and then he made some political sidestep speech about, get with an alderman and have them put it on the agenda, when he could very well put it on the agenda his damn self. That's passing the buck. And then you spoke to 2 or 3 aldermen I know of that, hey, can we get this on the agenda about fluoride? Nothing. So crickets, and then you found out while running for mayor that, the mayor has the power to just unilaterally pull fluoride out of the water and stop poisoning the people. And I said, well, if that's the case, why doesn't he do it? Or why won't he sit down and have a talk about it, or look at the evidence? We've shown the evidence on here,
Yep.
We've got their case numbers or their cast numbers, so we looked it up. I've looked it up and done the research. Comes
the
from
last
China.
time I talked to someone who was digging in more and more to the fluoride and the after effects and the harmful agents of it.
There it is. That's what they put in the water.
He said, the more and more and more that I dive into this, the more and more I think y'all have hit on something that needs to be taken care of now. And I said, yes, we know this, because we still have the screenshots of where the different towns in Tennessee have, because Columbia was one of them. They're much bigger than us. I think Spring City, and
that's a list from Portland Water. Tim said that's a list of, see, there you go, hydrofluoric acid, and then there it is. That's the acid that's put in the water, and the mayor could take it out tomorrow, but he chooses not to. And this is where I say
it would probably have to go for a vote. But
we asked him, and he wouldn't even talk about it. He didn't want to talk about it. And we've shown the evidence on this show multiple times. Like, hey, look. Let's have a discussion about this. And there's no discussion.
Maybe we need to, I know he's going to say no, but I'm going to reach out by email, because I know he'll answer that, and request him come on the show.
Who, the mayor?
Yeah.
Do it.
I know he'll say no, but if I request him by email and he responds by email, at least we have the information that he was asked and he turned it down.
Declined. Well, he might not answer, because I'd like to get him on here, because like I said, if you get money from the state, tell us that, and tell us, is having some extra money in your budget worth hurting your people? Because I'd love to get you on the record saying that. I'd love to have you on the record to say that.
He would never admit to that.
If the state gives him $5,000 every month to add $1,800 of fluoride to the water. Now I know it's every other month, but we could just go. They give him $2,500 a month for the water treatment to add fluoride. That's a state thing. We're handing you $2,500, and every other month, you get $5,000 into your revenue, and you only have to spend $1,800 for the fluoride that's added to the water for the 2 months. It's a net profit for you to help pay for other line items you should be cutting in the first place, because you're running a deficit, clown. So let's not talk about it as looking at it like, oh, well, look, I got this extra money from the state to poison the people. Wait a minute. Why did you get past poisoning the people? That's my point. And you said you had some problems with your water over this last freeze, did you?
Well,
didn't you have some water issues here?
Well, the city had water issues, so we had low water pressure there for a couple of days. You couldn't take a shower or nothing. I mean, you might as well take a bottle of water and pour it over you. That's how much.
Pour it up your ass crack and try to get all the fermented cheese out of there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. But no, what I was saying about the meeting is what I noticed was Mike Hall. He seems to respond to the stuff we say sometimes. Like, well, we're having to raise your water. And by the way, I do want to call you on that. It's not, they didn't, Mike Callis said, we just cut your water increases in half. No, he doubled the time to get there. He didn't cut nothing in half. Y'all need to realize that. And it seemed like everybody was on board with, it's they're measuring from the base or the balls. That's really what it was. He
cut in the beginning, but they're getting it on the back end.
No, they just, instead of taking a year and a half, 2 years to get there, they moved it out to 3 or 4 years to get to the same 27.5% water increase. But Mike Callis, Mike Hall was reporting that it's not because we're short on water. Well, wait a minute. I've got clips of you up there talking on YouTube about we're having to buy water from White House because we don't have enough effing water, Mike Hall. So which one is it, Jackie? Come on, Jackie ass.
They talk out of both sides of their mouth in circles.
Exactly. You're up on our YouTube channel saying you're going to have to buy water. We need a moratorium. We can't keep building houses. We got to buy water from White House, which is going to cost us more money because we don't have enough water. And then last meeting, you're sitting there saying and we're raising your rate not because we're out of water. It's because no, I got you. You've already lied.
If you go back and watch those meetings in concurrence, 1 month, freaking what's his name? Anyway, the engineer and the board, they're up there talking, and they're asking him, do we have enough water to handle these new homes? And he says, yes, if you do this. So they're like, okay, we got enough water. Let's approve these. And the next month they come in and go, wait, we need it. We don't have enough water. We have a water crisis. You've had a fucking water crisis, excuse my language, for 2 or 3, 4 decades, right? It's just gotten worse. Adding more houses and more convenience stores and more factories is not going to fix your water problem. No. And you can't come in here 1 month water and then come here the next month and say, well, we approved these 500 new homes, but we don't have the water to support them. You knew that before you approved the 500 homes. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you can't not raise your rates because we don't have any water. Yeah, that's part of it is because the city and their leaders didn't put a plan together to upgrade and maintain their lines and their equipment.
Megan Thompson sitting there saying, well, these new taps are going to pay for the repairs. You don't want the citizens coming in here screaming at you about increased water bills because we had to raise their rates to fix the water problem, do you? It's all a water problem. You've had a water problem. You ain't resorted to water problem. You didn't have one 20 years ago. You got one today, you know. And from what I see out here on the southern end, when I'm driving in, like we were going to White House the other day, and I was driving on the back roads out here, out near New Deal. Oh my God, there's houses going in crazy out there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
the farmlands are just blooming with houses. The rooftops are here. It's just Portland doesn't seem to going to be like they're going to be the benefactors because they can't make concessions or they don't know what they're doing. They seem like a bunch of dogs that run and and they caught the wheel of the bus and they don't know what to do now. They bit a hold of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, you make some concessions here and there. You know, you listen to people. If someone's saying something, you actually have them on the agenda and come in there and speak. You know, and you do. What's it called? Oh, cognitive thinking. That's what I'm looking for. Common sense. What do you have it? I don't think you do. You know. So again, I don't have a problem driving. You know, we got a hybrid now. You know, just scooch on down to Hendersonville or Bowling Green where they got good places to go do business. You know, and let the rich people of Portland just wither and die on the vine, because that's what will happen. Well, once the banks aren't allowed to print no more money and keep, you know, counterfeiting it into their accounts, they'll wither and die on the vine. But so what you going on? You got a serious face there, Mr. Spoon.
Well, I told you.
Told me what? You get your what's going on? You're overthinking something.
No.
What? Okay, so
I'm typing out the email I'm going to send.
Oh, you're going to send the email? Oh, you're going to do it live? Okay, all right. Well, what was I going to show you? Did you watch that Russell Brand with Graham Hancock that I sent you?
Is that the last one you sent?
Second to last. There's one that I sent with Ukrainian soldiers are threatening to kill Zelensky. So, welcome American taxpayers to $100 billion that was just flushed away. So, there goes your money. Zelensky's going to lose this war. He's about to lose big time. But I sent you that one with Graham Hancock talking about Göbekli Tepe. Very interesting discussion. And it was on, like I said, Russell Brand. Like I said, I've known about Göbekli Tepe, but basically what he said is that changes a lot and tells everyone that The procession of the equinoxes was known before the Greeks supposedly discovered it. I think the pyramids are much older than they say they are, but he's a archaeologist type guy.
All right, here it is right here. Can everybody see this?
Okay.
Okay, see this email? It says, Mr. Mayor, I'm asking if you will come on our podcast for a discussion of issues within our city. This is not for an attack. This is not an attack on anyone. This is just for open dialogue and mixing ideas.
He's going to pray us away. I think he thought his prayers were answered since we haven't been on in about 3 weeks.
All right. So, Mr. Mayor, I'm asking if you will come on our podcast for a discussion of issues within our city. This is not an attack on anyone. This is just for open dialogue and mixing ideas and hopefully some solutions. There it is, guys. All right. I'm going to send right now. So, says sending. Go to send folder. Look at the top. It says sent now. So we will wait and see if we get an answer from him and what answer we get. We may not get it while we're on the air, but
I'm sure you're not going to get an answer.
If we don't, the next time we're on the air, we'll call and try to get him on the phone.
Oh.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, I just got back your comments. He don't have the nuts to come on y'all show. Well, we'll find out. The three factors going up now, ain't there? Y'all seeing my comments? Yeah, I see your comments. You talk about the three factories out there on Vaughn, you know?
Oh, yeah, the ones that don't need any Portland City water in another county. Those ones?
Well, you know whose land that was owned by. So that's all.
It's not. That. It wouldn't be. It's not the people that has to do with an alder woman, is it? Is it land that's owned by a certain alder woman's family? Wouldn't be them, would it? They're not getting big commercial pipes and more water being shoved out in another county. I think that land was sold, but it was owned by a certain family. It was owned by a certain family and then sold. I wonder why don't you send an email to them and have them come on here and tell how much they sold the land for so that people can see how much they're screwing them. You know. But they won't sell some land at a good rate to Chick-fil-A or almost free to like Red Robin or somebody. Oh, that's right, because their mama owns a restaurant in town. I forgot. Can't have competition.
Well, they're not the only one with that.
Do you really want to say that a company like Olive Garden or Texas Roadhouse, if they were given land, wouldn't come here?
Well, I mean, I don't know about Texas Roadhouse, but
I'm saying if a company like that was offered some super sweetheart deal on some land, you mean to tell me they wouldn't build them? No, I'm just Chick-fil-A, anyone, Steak and Shake. Who cares? You know, if you wanted them here and you made it worth their while to come here, I don't think rooftop would matter, especially out near the interstate there. But no, they've found a way to, one thing I know this White, because I was in White House today. One thing they don't have a whole bunch of is Dollar Generals, but we got a bunch of them.
April said it was owned by them. They sold it. How do we find out in those factories? Well, I heard one of them was Amazon, but you can go to the
one
city.
Supposedly going up by Old Son, Hinkle is Amazon, is what I heard, and it's huge now.
You can go to the city and do an open records request about the land plats and stuff and who's building. Josh Stewart says, "What restaurant they own? 5 chefs?"
Maybe. Yeah, they don't want. They wouldn't want Steak and Shake to move into town because nobody might go there.
It's a big family. The same one that owns 5 chefs didn't own the land out there. So, I didn't say they were. I don't think they did, but That's what I'm saying. It's a big family, so it's not one person. You know what I'm saying? There's lots of children and cousins and aunts and uncles and.
Oh yeah, no, there's plenty of money to go around, but they always steer it towards their own interests. They don't want to steer anything against their interest. You know, like getting some good businesses in town. But so I ain't, like I said, I'm kind of spent, honestly, other than, like I said, the Epstein stuff we talked on, the Aldine stuff. I'd love it if somebody knew him, send him that Illuminati picture we showed. And I showed again.
Yeah, it's over on Vaughn. I don't know if it's the one that's going to be the Amazon one. It's past DHL. Used to be Hinkle. Well,
Yeah.
I think they still have the lease on the building, but they ain't got nothing in there right now. But there's
I was
there's
up
two,
there. I was up
there's-
that way the other day. And,
But there's two warehouses going up over there.
There's two past
Yeah.
Dorman.
Yeah, there's two past DHL.
Oh, I know one. I thought was going to be Amazon. That's what I heard.
Well, that's what I heard, but we don't know that for fact.
But
like April said, if you think it was Amazon, they'd be blaring it from the rooftops, bringing all those jobs. And I heard the rumor about Amazon coming in like a year ago when it was going to bring in like another 500 to 600 jobs.
again, knowing that once you cross over 31, technically you're not even in Sumner County anymore.
No, you're Robertson County.
Yeah, I know.
It's still,
So
it's still the city limits, but it's Robertson County.
Yeah, but again, it's like, you know, you what kind of leaders do you have in this town that, you know, build shit way out there instead of trying to annex farmland closer in the same county, you know, and all the water that gets pumped up there.
That was all done by the leaders at the time, and that one name. That's all I'm going to say.
That one bank guy, you know?
Huh?
What, the one big banker guy?
No, Collins.
The what?
The Collins last name and the leaders at the time. That's the whole reason all that mixed out there at that time. Because they owned all the land. They owned all the land. They wanted to run the water and the sewer and.
Yeah, and now the people living in Portland are going to get a 27.5% rate increase on their water over double the time. Now we've given you more time before it comes into effect. You get all this rate to pump more water to their you know, boardwalk and park place up there where they're making all this money off these businesses while you guys live in Mediterranean and Baltic Avenue, you know, with bottle your water and try to wash your ass crack with the slow pressure because everything's frozen.
That's right.
You know, but no, there's no corruption here. Nothing to see. You know, Bill Clinton wasn't on Epstein's plane. Never.
Yeah, right. Josh said, yeah, I'm working on one. Rumor has it it's an ATV warehouse, but the one I'm working on is the secret. I heard they're keeping it under wraps so they don't lose people at the other current warehouses.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, man, I got to go in there and about time for me to go cook some dinner.
What? Dinner?
Yeah, I'm going to go cook. Man, I told you I was cutting the veggies up and getting them marinating. You know, I got to cut the meat up and put it in.
You mean for lunch?
I got to get the meat sliced up and marinating. We're making Japanese today. Japanese.
I miss my Japanese friend.
Your Japanese friend who was
Ikazawa.
I thought you was going to say it was some anime person named Miku.
No. A very dear Japanese friend I work with. And me and him were like two peas in a pod. And every time we were working on the press and have to rig it to make it work, I would hold up the part and go, made it. He would
made it what?
Made in China. He would laugh. Boy. Made in China. He said, Chinese bad, Japanese good.
Oh Lord, China bad. Yeah. That one soundbite of that one guy was Xi Jinping asshole or something. I thought that was on Crowder. They got that one guy. Oh my God, it was some Japanese guy or Chinese guy saying Xi Jinping asshole. Oh man. So we'll be back next Monday, maybe?
Next
Are you
Monday.
going to be next Monday? Earlier next Monday, hopefully. Not so late. You had business to run today, but we still.
Yeah, next Monday will be 8 or 9 in the morning, something like that, probably.
I got to go in there and slice and dice some pork. Try to season some Korean style pork.
Korean style.
Korean style with a wok and some Japanese and cabbage and soy sauce and.
Well, for all of you that are happy we were back, I'm glad we're back for you. And
for all of you that wish we would have stayed gone, we're really happy to be back.
that are very disappointed that we're back. We're very, very happy that we.
Yes, we're very, very happy that you're very, very disappointed.
You make me happy a long time.
Yes, we love you long. We love pissing you off long time.
Love you a long time.
We pee.
All right, guys.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Next Monday.
See y'all next week. Thanks for the comments. Take it easy, Josh.
You.